As the world is held at bay due to COVID-19, Japan and China are experiencing some of the most extreme flooding in 100 years. Tonight we're going to be covering it. We've been predicting this for over 3 years, that the cosmic ray maximum will be reached in our lifetime, and it happened just in the fall of last year, and we've been pretty steadily hitting that cosmic ray maximum. That would result in increased cloud formation and record flooding worldwide, as well as record droughts in those areas where the moisture is left out. The 1931 China floods during a solar minima, a very deep minima, proves our point. Japan flooding death rises to 58 with more rain on the horizon. Tens of thousands of troops, police officers, and other rescue workers have worked their way through the mud and debris in the hardest hit riverside towns to evacuate residents. Here is some of the devastation. Pounding rain continues to batter large areas of Japan's main island, swelling rivers, triggering landslides, and leaving at least 58 people dead. Parts of Nagano and Gifu, including areas known for scenic mountain trails and hot springs, were flooded by massive downpours Wednesday. Public broadcast NHK showed a swollen river gouging into its embankment and destroying a highway. In the city of Giro, the rising river was flowing just below a bridge. Flooding and mudslides blocked parts of the main road connecting major tourist destinations in Nagano, stranding hundreds of residents and visitors, though they were believed to have been safely evacuated. And that's the picture you're looking at here. In neighboring Gifu, hundreds were isolated in the hot spring towns of Geru and Ontake. In the scenic mountain towns of Teyakama, several houses were hit by a mudslide, and their residents were safely rescued. As of Wednesday morning, the death toll from the heavy rains, which started over the weekend, had risen to 58. At the peak, as many as 3.6 million people were advised to evacuate. That's a gigantic number. Although it was not mandatory and the number who sought shelter was not known, about half the advisories had been lifted Wednesday afternoon, thankfully. In places where the rain had subsided, residents have been busy cleaning up their homes and workplaces. In Giru, a man washed off mud at the entrance of his riverside house despite the evacuation advisory. "I was told to run away, but I stayed," he said. "I didn't want my house to be washed away in my absence." Smart guy. In Otia, teachers at the nursery school were wiping the floors and drying wet furniture. "I hope we can return to normal life as soon as possible," said many. And then Diamond produced these videos. Now, here's the problem. Look at that. Take a look at that. This is some of the footage from Japan. And we'll just flip over to the next video here, see what we got. That is a very difficult park job. Clearly some devastation there. Let's take a look at this video. Yeah, we're going to get demonetized if I play that, so. That's just showing some devastation of boats being torn loose. These are clearly like tourist boats just being washed away. Huge amounts of water there. So there is that. Now, where are we at here? Scenes of devastation from the floods in Japan. There's more photographic pictures here. That's the one we started on. Take a look at the amount of homes businesses devastated there. And it's not going to get any better. And we're about to pick up on some China activity. All the information we just showed you in the pictures were coming from Japan. What you're looking at here is the GFS total accumulated precipitation in millimeters through the 18th of July. So for the next 9 days, there is over 3 meters predicted for southern Japan and a huge area, 3 or 4 meters of water. 3 to 4 meters of water. 10 to 12 feet is predicted in these bright yellow zones throughout a huge area, thousands of square miles in China, hundreds of square miles in southern Japan. The devastation is going to continue for the next 2 weeks as China's massive floods move east, battering communities along the Yangtze, including the regions where the Wu flu was. So the Wu-Tang Clan is not out of the woods yet, as dams in China's Hangzhou opens all 9 floodgates for the first time in history. 12 villages were flooded, 300,000 people affected, and information is sparsely getting out of this region. We have some video footage of what it looks like when you release all 9 gates. Now, that dam is not going to last very long under those conditions. This bridge. The dam above is now being released. These are the flood levels. And the amount of erosion happening. It's anyone's guess where this is going to go. Now, let's listen to some amazing coverage here coming from Crossroads.
Off some news updates, a flurry of natural disasters is continuing across China. In Hubei province of China, close to 29,000 citizens were evacuated as a nearby reservoir dam is showing signs of deformation and also is beginning.
Well, that didn't work out, now did it? Well, stuff happens. Stuff happens when you're trying to do this quickly, and I'll leave you links to that video below. But what it shows is that there are many reservoirs in the Hubei province that are now at their limit or capacity in China. We have devastation in Japan, flooding. We have devastation that we've showed you. Now, at the risk of the people filming this, they're not allowed to release this information in China, but this is some Japan. So this type of information is hard to get out, but the GFS model is showing that this flooding is going to continue. Tokyo is right in this region here. And south and west of Tokyo, we're looking at 2 to 3 meters more rain in the next 10 days. And central China is literally going to be inundated, reaching peak flooding never be seen before in modern history. Hope you got something out of the video. Times are changing. Rivers are being inundated. Infrastructure is failing. Communist countries aren't letting the information come out. But we're reporting on it as best we can as the footage is released, piece by piece. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with like-minded people. If you have loved ones in this region, we're praying for you. Be safe. We love you.